Hi, my magical creatures, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be about damn, what was I gonna talk about? So today's video is gonna be about transgender Q&A questions. So I'm gonna be answering some Q&A questions, and yeah, I'm gonna just answer them to the best of my ability. Before we get started into this video, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It's a free way to help your girl out. All right, let's get started into the video. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people have questions about like transgender people, like, oh my God, is it a mental disease or is it contagious? Like, y'all would be really shocked about the questions that I really get. Like, it's crazy to me. So that's why I'm here, to help educate and enlighten people that, need to understand it. Okay. Because, I feel like the LGBT thing, I feel like it's growing. I feel like people are being more authentic and being honest with themselves and being themselves. Also too, like Cartoon Network had, I think the show Young Justice had like two characters. I think it was like Aquaman kissing another guy. I was very shocked. Kudos to Cartoon Network, that really, like, they're very for LGBT people. Um, yeah, so I think also too, like when I, pass on from this world, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more LGBT people on the world. I feel like it's gonna be more accepted, and I feel like it's gonna be like the new norm. I feel like where men don't have to be all masculine and women don't have to be all feminine, and stuff like that. So pretty sure definitely we are heading into the age of Aquarius, and a psychic lady was saying that because we're heading to the age of Aquarius, she was saying that people are going to be more enlightened. Like the rules of like masculinity, femininity is going to kind of be no more. That's what she was saying, that like men are going to be more like, it's going to be more unisex, I want to say. Like it's going to be less, you know the rules of masculinity, femininity, and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, so let's get into the questions for the Q&A. Okay, so first question is, and I have my notebook right here. What is the difference between transgender and a transsexual? That is so easy. So a transgender person is somebody that identifies as the opposite gender that they were born as, but they don't get any medical treatment to get any surgeries or anything like that. A transsexual is someone that is basically a transgender person but with surgery. So for me, I would be considered a transsexual. I don't like calling myself a transsexual just because it sounds like it has, I feel like it has kind of like a little negative connotation to it. It's like when people be like, oh, like, what is that? You're trans. Like I've had men be like, oh, what is that? I was like, yeah, like I feel like I would say the correct term would be, I'm transgender, instead of being like, oh, I'm a transsexual. Well, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of has like that connotation too, where it's like, ooh, like what is that? You know what I mean? But yeah, transsexual is someone that undergoes medical treatment, like surgery, hormones, stuff like that. Transgender is someone that doesn't undergo medical treatment, but they still can be considered transgender. Um, yeah. So the second question is there a general age that people realize they are transgender or experience gender dysphoria? Can it happen late in life? Okay, that's honestly a good question. For me, is there a general age that people realize that they are transgender? It can happen at I feel like it's something you're born with. I mean, I have friends that are, trans, of the LGBT, gay, bisexual, and a lot of them even said the same thing. Like when they were born, they noticed that's what they were attracted to. They just never spoke on it. I did see one documentary of a guy that was, I think he was bisexual because he was very masculine. I was like, I would have never known. But I think he said he was like not until like, I think middle school, until he was like 13, 14. That's when he started liking guys. So I don't know. I feel like also too, there's been another thing too, like where people claim to have got abducted by aliens and stuff like that, and then they notice that their sexual orientation has changed too. Don't laugh. Like that is something I really saw on someone that really claimed that they were abducted, and then that was like one of the things too. But yeah, so I personally feel like it's something you're born with. I've talked to so many people that are like me and that are gay and stuff like that, and I'm not gay, but I'm just saying, if LGBT, they said it was something that they were born with. Um, can it happen late in life? For me, I thought I was just gay. You know what I mean? I never thought it was possible to transition, to change a gender. So, I wasn't educated on that. But when I turned 18, I went to an LGBT meeting thing. It was to inform people about what each letter of the LGBT thing meant. And I went, and then the lady talked about transgender and like what that is. And a light bulb went off, and that's what I identified as. I was like, I am trans. And then growing up, it made sense because I just thought I was a very feminine gay boy, but really I was a woman. And I don't regret any of the surgeries that I've had, and I love my body now, and I'm just comfortable, and it just makes sense. Had I been educated or have I been more exposed to like transgender, like what that was, then I'm pretty sure I would have identified as that very early on in my age. But it took me until I was 18 to figure out what I was, because I didn't know what trans was. So, but yeah. So I hope that answered your guys' question on that. Yeah. So the third question is, how does hormone therapy affect a person's emotional state? So basically, for me, when I started hormone replacement therapy, so it's basically when I first started, I got on spironolactone, which is a testosterone blocker, which blocks off all testosterone. So if you still have, a penis with testicles, that makes a hormone called testosterone. So when you transition, you want to start on testosterone blockers, so which stops your body from producing testosterone if you're a male. Women do produce testosterone, but I think it's so low. So that's why. So and then testosterone is what makes a man physically a man. Like the aggression and the muscles and the broad shoulders and the deep voice and all that, and the hair growing in all types of places. So you wanted to take testosterone blockers, which is spironolactone. That's what I did, and then I got on estrogen, and that's what gives you the female hormone. And that's what gives us the wide hips, boobs, soft skin, less aggression hormone, and stuff like that. What was I gonna say? Emotionally, how it affected me. I was definitely a lot more emotional. Like, I remember I would listen to a song and then I'll just start crying, or like watch a scene in a movie and start crying. I remember as like a flamboyant gay boy, I could not shed a tear for nothing. But as a woman now, I can easily shed a tear. Like, I just think about something sad and like, boop. Also too, like emotionally, like what else? I'm more like when I see a guy, I like a guy that I really like, I'm like, oh my God, like I really want to get to know him. I want to talk to him. I just want to give him a hug. Like I really want to see like, how he is. As a little flamboyant gay boy, I was just like, oh my God, he's cute. Like, oh, I just want to make out with him. Like, like I feel like testosterone makes men more like aggressive and stuff like that. When it comes to sexual stuff, with women, we're just more like emotional about things. Also too, like, I don't really like when I meet guys, I'm like, the first thing I meet, I'm just like, oh, how are you? Stuff like that. Men tend to think more with their like down there, so they're, so I'm sure they're like sexualizing and thinking and stuff. But women, I don't want to say all women, but most women, I want to say like, we just be like, oh, hi, how are you? Like, I don't really think like that. I'm just like, oh, okay, like I want to get to know you. Like, I want to, I want you to be a gentleman. I want you to treat me right. Like, bring me flowers, stuff like that. That's just, I don't know, women. That's just being a woman, I guess. Like, emotional, like things, like my love language is gifts. So if a man brings me gifts and stuff like that, I just emotionally, I'm just like, oh my God, thanks. That's so sweet of you. I love that. So that's how it affects me emotionally. It just made me more like emotional about things. Made me want to like, it made me like think about things and stuff like that for the longer term. You know what I mean? Can a person, so the fourth question is, can a person have gender dysphoria and not seek gender affirming treatments? Yes. There was somebody I met, I went to college, and she, I mean, totally did not started hormones. Like, I mean, she was, looked like a biological man. But she said that she identifies as trans, but she didn't want to medically transition because of her family and she wanted to finish college. So, you know, with that, I mean, I will call her she and everything like that. But also too, I seen on the on a documentary that someone did identify as trans, but because it was too expensive, you know, stuff like that, they just decide not to do it. Other people are comfortable in their bodies, but they still identify as trans, you know. For me, I would have done anything and anything to get money to medically transition, just because I hated looking at myself. I was depressed. I hated how my body looked, everything like that. That was for me. You know what I mean? There's other people, and then there's also a lot of trans people too that physically look like a biological woman, but they still have a penis, and a lot of it is because of they're afraid, because getting the gender confirmation, sexual reassignment surgery, getting that is very risky. You know, it's really risky. You get one shot, you know, at getting the surgery, when they perform down there, and for me, I lost a lot of blood. I remember I needed a blood transfusion. Like, I was right on the borderline of getting a blood transfusion. And not only that, it took me months, you guys, of recovering. Like, it took me months to, like, walk. I remember walking was so hard for me. I remember I couldn't even, you know, I have a lot of hair. So I remember my hair was just so knotted and just, you know, from not brushing it. So I was brushing my hair. I couldn't even lift my arms up for more than 10 seconds. Like, I was just so out of breath, and like, it was because I lost a lot of blood. Also too, like, you can have complications down there. Luckily for me, I didn't. But I did get a stage 2 surgery where, like, my urethra, it kind of like aimed up a little bit. So I needed, what did I need it? I needed to kind of correct it to go down a little bit. And then when I would dilate, I had like a little flap of skin that was just in the way. So they, you know, took care of that. So, that's basically what I did, you know. So I don't even know how we even got to this topic, but but yeah, but there's, you know, so there's lots, yeah, there's some trans women that don't even, you know, they keep their penis, but, you know, they look and present themselves as a woman because of, you know, health issues, stuff like that. Also too, I remember they asked me if I had AIDS, or if I was HIV positive or whatever, because if you have AIDS, you can't get the surgery. So I think, yeah, so yeah, so there's a lot of factors into it, but yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so I hope that answers the fourth question on that. So question number 5: if a man likes to dress in women clothes but does not identify as a woman and otherwise lives typically as a male, does he have a psychiatric disorder? No. There's things called drag queens, and then there's things called cross dressers. Also too, I think the correct term too is transvestite. I think, I'm not sure, but I think that is the word for it. But I'm not sure, don't quote me on it. But if a man basically likes to dress in women clothes but presents himself as a male, that is a cross dresser. That is a drag queen. Well, and that's, I don't want to say like drag queen all the way, unless you think like RuPaul Drag Race or something. But I want to say, but yeah, there's men out there that definitely, they just like dressing up in women's clothes, or they like dressing up as a woman, and then they like being a man, you know? So honestly, no, that's just what they like. Some men find pleasure in that, and that's something like a hobby, you know? So, but then also too, there's some, like, I seen on RuPaul Drag Race, like, I seen some, there was like a person on there that was a drag queen that was a male, but that person ended up transitioning, and I think it was like Carmen Carrera. that person ended up transitioning into a woman because that's who she was, and I guess like she found closeness to being a woman was drag, you know. um and then I think there was like another trans person too on RuPaul that transitioned too. But yeah, so yeah, if people, if they dress like a woman but they still are male and they identify as a male, that's just a cross-dresser. So but yeah, but I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay magical.